Hello guys, welcome to Photographics Academy. Alright, so today I'm going to be taking you through step-by-step guide on how I was able to transform this flat image into something this amazing. Yeah, when I say something this amazing, I think it's pretty good. All right, so this video is going to be a step-by-step tutorial, and I'm also going to be making available a PSD file of what I did because I can't really put my head together over what I did. So I made sure I saved it all in layers so I can just make references, and then I will show you exactly how I applied it. So I guess, or I hope that you will have a great time watching this video, and trust me, there are a whole lot of information in this video that you will learn. Just make sure you watch it till the end. All right, so without wasting your time, let's quickly get started. All right, so I think the first thing I did was that I blurred out the background. Yeah, so let's check it out. Okay, so I made a cutout of the background. This is actually everything we did in front, in the foreground, so this will come later. So I think the first thing I did was I separated just this back from the front area, something like that. Then I blurred it. So let's do that quickly. So I'm just going to make a duplicate of this, or rather, just make a selection first. I'm just going to make a selection of the background using my quick selection tool and just masking these areas out, stuff like that. Then come in a bit closer to see how we are doing. All right, so we can start working with that. Or you can as well just do your select subject and then mask every other part in. Whatever you choose to do, it will just work perfect. So I'm just going to take out time and make a selection of this. Perfect. All right, so we can work with this. Let's see this area. No. So we need to restore some hair. Just like that. All right, so we can work with this. The next thing we're going to be doing is just to make a duplicate, drag this background over here, and right click on the image and go to layers there, cut. Reload the selection by holding your control and clicking over this thumbnail. It's going to load up again. Then go to filter, go to blur gallery, go to field blur, and just blur it enough that you are no longer seeing what is there. Just like this. This is okay. Press OK. So let's wait for it to apply. Beautiful. That is beautifully done. So the next thing I did, I guess I added some colors. So this is the blurred background. So after blurring the background, I added some bouquet effect to the background. So let's just drag this bouquet effect over here and just move it over to that side like that. Just place it over here and we are good to go. Where is it? Oh my God. Okay, so make sure your object is above all of this, or rather, what you can do is just to clip the bouquet to the background, because if not, it's going to affect your image. So I'm just going to clip it to this background there, so it stays just in my background. That I'm going to place it here. So that was exactly how we brought in the bouquet effect. And the next thing we did, I guess, was that we applied a color lookup table. So let's just determine exactly the one we used. So we used night from day cube. So let's go and find that. And another thing I need you to notice in this bouquet effect is that the blend mode is in exclusion. So if we left it at normal, it's going to just form a blank black, just kind of a light leak behind her, and it's not going to look realistic. So we had to change the blend mode to exclusion, and it's 100% opacity. Then we're going to introduce our color lookup table. Fuji night, yeah, look at it here. So the problem with this is that it's touching every part of the image, but we just want it on the background. And to have it just on the background, we can, I think what I did was I maxed it. So to do that, it's very simple. Just reload your selection, the selection of your background like this, and delete this mask and apply a new mask to it. So it just sends it all the way to the back. And our opacity for this is also 100. Our opacity for this is also 100. Why isn't it looking the same way? I think we're missing something. So we had night from day, not for the night. Yeah. Okay, so we applied a night from day color lookup table. Yeah, that was it. A night from day, and it started giving us this effect. But now looking at the image, this part of the car is also behind the mirror, or is also behind the glass or the window. Let's call it the window. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's also behind the window, which means if this color is behind, it should also be affecting this area. So that brought us to the place where we had to now paint it in. So we'll just paint this in over here and just add this part to that color lookup. We didn't add it to blur, the background blur. I don't really know why I didn't do that, but I think it worked. So we'll just stick to that. So we'll just paint it in like this. Beautiful. All right, so we'll have a very nice background. One more thing I did was I think I painted this car to be part of it, this tire rather, to be part of it. Okay, so we have here fixed. So let's check out the next thing we did. Then we applied a solid color just to make everywhere become cool and have that cool vibe. I didn't like the color of the floor and all of that, so we just applied a cooling effect. So to do that, we just loaded a solid color. So I'm just going to copy the hex code so that we'll have practically a uniform result. I'll just copy the hex code, then come over here, paste it, go to solid color, press Ctrl V, press OK. So I'm going to hide that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to load up this selection again, but this time around I'm going to add the foreground, or rather something else we can do is just to go and use the original selection that we had here, because this one's, the mask is already altered. So I'm just going to load up this one again, then add the front to it. But make sure you are doing it on the image. If you do it here, that is practically empty down here, so there won't be anything to select. Make sure you are selecting on the image. So I'm just going to use my quick selection tool and just add this floor like that, minus the body. So you can zoom in to see exactly what we are doing. So we'll minus this part of the car. I think we'll minus the tire as well. Yeah, that's the much it can see. Let's stick with that. Then we'll come close to the shoe, make sure it's perfectly selected. Nice. Okay, so we can work with that. Look at this area, minus this area as well. And this area up. Okay. Do the same thing over here. Okay, so I'm going to minus this part of the car. Sorry, I'm taking time to do this, but this is exactly how I achieved the result I achieved. So let's stick to it. All right, so after doing that, now, oh my God, what happened? Oh gosh, I didn't hold my... Okay, so I was supposed to hold shift and be doing all of that selection. I didn't hold my shift, so I lost it. So we're going to, I think we had some, let's see if we added it at any point. We did not. Okay, so we just have to reload and add again. So hold your shift and add it up again. I think this time around is going to do it faster because already made some adjustment. Why wasn't it applied? Excuse me, I think I'm missing something here. So hold my shifts. Oh. All right, so I think I know what's going on. What is going on right here is that the upper part of the image does not contain any pixel, and the lower part of the image does not, like in this layer, it doesn't contain any pixel. In this layer, the down part doesn't contain any pixel. So what we're going to do is to apply this first, apply this first here, delete this mask, yeah, create a mask for it. So we'll have that mask there, then we come back to this place and add this as well to the mask. I think that will work. Let's try that. I didn't consider that before. Sorry about that. But okay, so we'll land it. All right. Oh, say we'll minus this. Let's allow that. You know what? Let's just zoom in, pick up your shot tool and just make that adjustment manually. And let's go to also minus from this tab. Okay, map. I'm going to add All right, so check the body. Need to get this part up. Okay, the car. Just remove that. Okay, so this area will try to do the same thing. The tire. Let's see if quick selection tool can help us identify any shit that it isn't. It isn't. So I have to do that manually. I think this is the place I'm seeing. Sorry, that's a very rough selection right there. Let's see if we can just make it a little bit more accurate. Oh my God, that isn't working. You know what? Let's send that into the shadows. All right, so after doing that, come back to your mask, pick up your brush and open it up right now. Then use your brush to add this area. Just like that. Now you can decide to avoid just those very dark shadows. Just leave some colors in there to give it that separation and nice gradation. So after doing that, I think we kept it at color. Let's see. Yeah, we kept it at color. So just come all the way, change the blend mode to color, reduce the opacity till it looks good to the eye. I think I like it where it is. Do we apply it here? No. Is it working there? Okay, so we had it just on the background and on the floor. I think this is too much. Just have to bring it down a little. So the next thing we did, let's check. Sorry, we are doing this so that I just had to compile it also that we don't forget anything. We don't forget anything. This was a very spontaneous workflow. All right, so I think we brightened up her skin. Then we started making some color gradings to that selection. Okay, so let's just make a selection of her skin. We'll just be carrying and be dropping. All right, so I'm going to come back to where her skin is. Make a selection of her skin, just her skin, like that. Minus the hair, please. Okay. Add these parts to it. The arm, I know this area, this one right here. Just make sure you have a good selection of her skin. That's just what I'm trying to do. Okay. This area, make sure you get the dress out. Okay. All right, so the first thing we did with the skin, I guess, was to brighten it up using our cuffs. So I just needed to brighten it up a little so that she could stand out from the image. So I'm just going to come over here all the way to the top, pick up my curves and just brighten it up from the shadows because I noticed the upper part is okay, just the leg part and somewhere below her arm and all of that. So I'm just going to lift it from the shadows. Just like that. So this is the before, this is the after. I guess this is too much. Drop it down a little bit. So the next thing we did, we just be using the same mask, was to apply a color lookup table at a 32% of opacity, just to add a color grading to her skin, and we used crisp warm. So we'll just go to the color lookup table, go to crisp warm. Let's find that crisp warm. Then we will hold our alternate to copy this mask of her skin and position it over the color lookup, and we have it on her. But this is too much, so keep it somewhere around 30. Keep it somewhere around 30, yeah. Another thing we did was that we just did some color gradings. We just stacked up a lot of color gradings on this one. So the next thing we did was the gradient mapping. We just applied a little bit of it. We see that we had 46 and 30. And the exact one we used was the gold 2 in the legacy gradients. Go all the way down to photographic toning, and you are going to see what we use. I think it's the gold 2. Yeah, so to be on a safer side, I will try and see if I can manually find it, but if we cannot, I will just copy. So what I did was that we'll come over here, go to our gradient mapping, right click on it, go all the way down to legacy gradient. Now, if you are using a later version of Photoshop and you can't find legacy gradients, that's where the photographic toning is. So this is a kind of packs of color grading that was put in your gradient map just for your scale and probably a little bit of the background, but I think it works perfectly for the skin. Now, if this is hard for you to find, one of the things you can do, especially if you're in a later version of Photoshop, you are not going to be able to see it. Make sure that in your windows and in your properties that you have your gradient selected, that you have your gradient loaded up, right? Yeah. So once you have your gradient loaded up, you can go over to this place and go to legacy gradient. Now, once you click on legacy gradient, you are done with this place. Then come back in, scroll all the way down. You are going to find legacy gradient. So you notice it just loaded it 2 times because I already had it here. Then open it, come all the way down to photographic toning and pick something that works. So let's see if this was exactly what we use. I think the blend mode was also color. So just change the blend mode to color. Reduce this to 46. I guess that was where it is. And this somewhere around 30. All right, so now looking at it, the reason we had to do color was because, sorry, this is supposed to be 30, not 300. Now, the reason we had to use color first of all is because we needed to blend up her skin tone. So if you notice that her skin tone, if you notice in this image, her skin tone is not evened out. Let me remove that. So you will notice that her skin tone is not evened out. The face is different from the leg. So one of the ways to fix that is to use your gradient map or any other color grading to maybe your solid color. Solid color works perfectly well also. Then change the blend mode to color. It's going to make everywhere become the same thing in terms of hue, but the saturation and the luminosity might be different, but the hue excuse me, will be exactly the same thing. Now, if you think it's not enough for you, you can decide to keep the both of them at 40-40. So just keep the both of them at 40-40. Then we duplicated it. If you notice, we're having 2 gradient maps here because the first one was to give us an even skin tone and the second one was to give us a beautiful saturated skin tone. I don't think I'm using exactly the same gradient mapping, but at the end of the day, we'll have something very close to the result. So we're going to make a duplicate of this, press Ctrl J and change the second one to soft light, just like that. Let's see if we can modify this and get something very close to what we have here. Sorry, I'm taking your time. We just need to get it done. Gold 2. So we're looking for gold 2. Gold 2, gold 2. Okay, gold 1, gold 2. Yeah, here it is. So press OK. Now we can delete this, make a duplicate and change this one back to color. All right, so we'll have exactly the same color. Let's see. Yeah, all right. Have exactly the same color. Our saturated is 4630, exactly the same thing. All right, so this is now, remember we are changing the second one to soft light. Okay, beautiful. Why am I seeing it all over the place? Okay, we've not copied the mask. So now the next thing to do is to copy the mask. I'm going to hold my alternate, copy the mask. Remember, we are just color grading her skin tone and we are going to be keeping everything in her skin or on her skin. I don't know if that was the right word. So the next thing we did was our selective color. Just made a little adjustment. It's almost looking like we didn't do anything, but we did something there. Just a little to remove the reds. And trust me, I don't remember exactly what I did. So I'm just going to copy the selective color and place it here. Make sure it's all the way up. Yeah. Let's just keep it like that. So the next thing we did was to use our, I think we're done with the skin color grading. Yeah. Okay, so we are good. All right, so the next thing we did was around the background or the foreground right now. So let's get started with that because from here we started whitening the teeth and I will get back to this. So if you notice at the beginning, I skipped a group, which is this group right here. So what I did in this group basically was to work on the foreground. I think I'm missing a step because her dress is still looking very, very cool. Here it's looking very, very bright. Let's find exactly where we missed it. Give me a minute. Let me locate that. If we don't find it, we just create it. All right, so let's quickly create that. So I'm going to pick up my pick selection to make a selection of our dress, just like this. Because we need to darken it down a little. If you look at it, it's too bright. So we'll just have to make a selection of her dress. Okay, so just make a selection like this. Add all these places up. Maybe I did that before I even started developing. Okay, we are good. All right, so I'm just going to pick up my cuffs and just bring it down. That's all. Yeah, we are good. Okay, so back to the background. Now we said something. We skipped a group over here. Let's find it. So this was everything we did on the background. Excuse me. Okay, so this was everything we did on the background. So I'm going to make a group of everything above so that we will be able to concentrate on one. Okay, so this is the background here. So let's open it up and start checking everything we did one by one. All right, all the way down, the first thing we did was I will try to bring some white color back to the car. If you notice the car, the white is somehow dim, so I had to make it a bit brighter. And to do that, I'm just going to go back in, make a selection of the car. So let's find where it is. This is our foreground. Make a selection of the car, the white area. So just add here to it. All this area. Okay, I think I need to add here as well. Okay, look at this part. Okay, so after doing that, I did two things basically. I first of all created a black and white adjustment layer for it, just like that. If you think it's not enough, you can as well create a solid color and make sure it is white. Then copy the mask and place over it. Change the blend mode to color and reduce the opacity if you wish to do that. And you have a very bright white car. So the next thing we did above that was that we make a selection of the inner part of the car and we darkened it down this part. So we're just going to come all the way down again to where she is and make a selection of the inner part of the car over here. Okay, bring this down a little. Did we add this area? Yeah, we did. So I'm going to also make sure we select this area as well. Zoom it in to make sure you're not selecting your skin. This is very important. Add here to it. Okay, so I'm going to create a curves adjustment layer and just darken it down right there. So after darkening it down, I think the next thing we did was that we pushed in some colors into that box. What do we have here? Yeah, so we used our curves to bring it down, then we pushed in some color you pop into that area and we use our edgy amber 3DL. So let's just quickly load up our edgy amber color lookup table, find our edgy amber. Here is it, edgy amber. Okay, so copy the mask over from the curves over to this one. So the reason we had to do that was because we wanted a little bit of some warm colors right there, and I think I added this area to that selection. Let's see if that was where we did it. All right, so I'm missing a part in this selection, and that is this area. Needed to add this up to it because it was obviously too bright, so we just have to paste it into that selection just like this. And you can as well copy the mask. Okay, sorry, turn it back on. So we'll just copy the mask and replace it with that of the curves, and we'll have a very beautiful darkened down interior. So you notice the curves was just to make it dark. The curves was to make it dark. The edgy amber is just to restore that orange color, that orange should I call it gelled light right inside the car. If you notice, there was a very warm color light inside here, but because it's not strong, it's not showing up, so we had to darken it down just like that. You can as well allow it spill a little using your, especially the edge amber, using your brush to just paint into her dress, because I noticed that of course this was supposed to touch her dress, so you just paint it in manually like that and we are good to go. So the next thing we did was that we introduced another curves adjustment layer for the skin tone. So I felt the skin at this point is looking too bright, so had to darken it down a little. So let's quickly make that adjustment. Okay, we didn't actually darken down, we stayed within that. Okay, so I think that is all we did with the group over here. Let's see that. Okay, so the next thing we did, sorry, I had to get this done, was that we introduced a little warm color into this area. So I felt okay, probably the orange is not as thick as I wanted it to be, so I had to just add some orange, but I think I like it the way it is right here. The next thing I want us to take care of is this part of the door, so I'm going to make a selection of that area and darken it down. It's feeling too bright to me. Okay, we'll just make that selection, pick up your cuffs and just bring it down. That's all. Nice. Okay, so zoom out to make sure it's not looking too dark and very unrealistic, and we are good to go. So let's see the overall before and after. What did we do here? Our black and white car. Okay, so this is everything we did with the background. This is with the foreground rather. This is it, and let's make a group of it as well right here so that we can exactly see the before and after the way it is. So this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. So I'm also going to make a group of everything above here and show you the before and after, the before, the after. So very close to the original result. Look at it, the before. So this is exactly how we created what we created. Now quickly let's get started with our skin retouching. But before we do that, if you look at her leg is slightly too dark, so I'm just going to make a selection of that leg as well and just brighten it up. I think that's the last thing we are doing over here. So just make a selection and brighten it up. I know this area. All right, so we'll just make a selection of the leg over here, just like that. Make sure you're in plus icon. Yeah, just add everything and now start modifying your selection. Okay, add this here. All right, so we can work with that. Make sure you are feathered, maybe like 11 something. Pick up your curves and just brighten that area up. Just press okay. Okay, so we are good to go. So I'm just going to create a stand visible layer and do the final color gradings, and we are good to go. But before we do that, let's clean up the teeth and the eye. So I'm just going to load up my Beauty Retouch Academy, zoom it closely to her teeth area like that. Go to Magic Smile, pick up my brush and just paint that in. Make sure your flow is quite high. All right, so with that work for did a pretty good job, so let's just use it for the eye as well. Okay, so we are good to go. All right, we are good to go. So I'm going to create a stamp visible layer. Go into my Lipify. So I want to just add a little curves to this part of her, just this area. So I'm going to freeze every other part by picking up my freeze tool here, freeze mask, zoom it closely, and just freeze this whole area out so it doesn't distort the car too much. Yeah, freeze here as well. Okay, so what this freeze does is that all these places that are painted red, no matter how much I try to move them around, they are not going to, because they are freezed out. So that's what that freeze does for you when you are liquefying your object. So I just want to nudge out her hips a little and use a little bit of curve. Now when you are using this tool, make sure you are nudging it gradually. Do not drag it so quickly. It's going to probably might spoil your image. Just tiny bit of it here and there. Okay, let's zoom out and see how it looks on her. Let's bring here out a bit too. Same here. All right, so press OK and let's see how that goes. So this is the before, this is the after. Very beautiful. So one more thing, I'm going to create another stamp visible layer. Go to my camera raw filter. Go to camera raw. So I already had a preset set up for this particular image, and the preset, if you want access to it, go to the description of the video. You'll be able to download it. So I'm just going to go to load settings, find it where I kept it. Where did I save it? Where did I save it? I think it should be in here. Title, press open. So it's going to quickly apply the color grade. Yeah, press OK. So we'll just make little adjustment to the color gradings using that area. Notice her finger is quite dark, so I'm just going to brighten that area up. Press Ctrl I, pick up your brush, and just painting the light into that area, just like this. Okay, here as well, just for now. All right, so I'm going to create one more stamp visible layer and quickly do my frequency separation on the object and maybe a little bit of dodging and burning, and I will see you at the final result. All right, so we are done. Welcome back. So I'm just going to show me a very quick one. So this is the frequency separation, the before, the after, the before, the after, and this is the dodging and burning. So just look at it, you notice it does added a little glow to some of the areas. I think I need to add a little bit more glow to the leg just here. Yeah, okay, so we're good. So this is it, the before, the after, the before, the after, the frequency separation, the before, the after, the before and the after. And let's take a very quick look at the overall before and after. So this was the image when we started, and this is the image when we are done. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. Remember, the PSD file of this particular retouch is going to be available for you to download, and also see if you can use some of the things we use there on your own project and see how it turns out. And make sure you practice as much as you can. Trust me, you need to practice so much to be able to get exactly the same kind of result that we get right here. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. When you subscribe, click on the notification bell to get notified every single time we drop a new video, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.